Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another friendly edition of Friday with Friends. And today's friend, something new, right here with me instead of remote, Marianne Weiss. Hi, Marianne.
Hi, Craig. Nice to be here
Good to
with
see
you.
you from so long, and here you are right here.
Right here,
Yeah.
right now.
So Zoom,
Yeah.
the days of pandemic are over.
Yes.
Yeah. Aren't you glad?
Thankfully, yeah.
All right. Today's class or talk, a chat, if you will, is been entitled The Path of Love. Now I'll get into what that means to you because
Okay.
it's a big word that's used all the time. But let me just tell you a little bit about Marianne first. Marianne's been a practicing Raj Yoga for I guess over 30 years now.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
Yeah, I started when I was a teenager.
You must have been.
Yeah.
In fact, I was handing this out, a little flyer to some people, and one of the guys said, "How could she be in 30 years? She only looks 20."
Ah, that's so sweet.
That's true. So we're going to also have a in-person class tonight, and that's why Marianne has arrived here. She's been practicing for about 30 years. And I guess her specialty is really facilitating things for others. She facilitates many spiritual classes and retreats for all over the place. I've seen you in Peace Village.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming here.
Thank you for having me.
So, as I said earlier, that the title given today is The Path of Love. And I like what you wrote about it, that life is filled with stressors and there's the anxieties to go with it. And we need something to get us through it. And I'd like to know what you mean by how the path of love helps me to find more joy. And I take it that when you say love, it doesn't mean the kind that people say at the end of a phone conversation, love you.
Yeah.
What does it mean, the path of love?
Well, in this world of craziness, right? Love, everything is sort of energy driven, as we know, right? We know that. And love is an energy as well. And I think most people are confused by that because they don't know love, so they're looking for it, right? They don't know that love is an energy, so they're looking to feel love from somewhere, from someone. And so generally, like, our idea of love is that I need to find love.
Yes.
Right? And so the idea would be sort of like it's the path to love. I'm on the path to love. I'm going to find love, whether that's true love or whether it's love from a pet or whether it's, love from a child. These are times where in our lives we say, wow, now I know what love is.
So tell me, what does it mean that love is energy? Where does that energy come from? How could I experience it?
Yeah, so good question, because I think I experience love when I feel it from someone or something, like an animal or a situation. But all I'm feeling at that moment is really the energy that the other person is giving me, that is being loving. And so I tend to exude that energy as well if I can tap into it. So love is an energy that I exude, right? It's not something that I feel or experience from somewhere, finding it somewhere else. It's the energy of who I am, what I am. And when we see ourselves as energy, right, I can start feeling the energy that is love. Okay? So for example, I'm sitting here next to you, right? And I can feel your energy, Craig, right? I feel that you're calm. I feel that you bring peace. But if you came in here, didn't say a word, and you had a stressful day, or you were very worried, I could probably feel it immediately, right? So that's the energy that we exude. Right? And of course, that energy that we exude, I create.
So what I believe you, but that's not always my experience. And how do I tap into that? I'd like to think that I what you're saying is that love is in me and that it's part of like my DNA. That's what I'm getting from you, right? That I don't even like to say it, like I am love.
Okay.
But basically, that's to me,
Yes.
if I narrow down what you're saying, that's what you're telling me.
Yeah.
Why am I not experiencing that on a day-to-day basis? And how
course.
can I find a way to tap into it?
Okay. So first of all, we're not going to say that love is in me, right? We're going to say that I am love, that it is who I am. And that is such an important thing.
It is such a hard thing
It is
to
such a hard
wrap
thing.
around
It
because,
is.
you know, it's I am love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So because we don't have the experience of being loving, that's why it's so hard to say that I am love. Because my experience throughout the day is that I experience being stressed, or I experience being angry, or I experience being sad, or anxious. So those are the experiences, and I could probably easily say I am those things, right? In a heartbeat, especially here in the traffic in Miami.
That's true.
Yes.
You know, it's easy to identify those. I am stressed.
Yes.
I am that. But I am love. It seems so much more beneficial.
And it's so foreign. It's so foreign. It's a very foreign experience to know that I can exude the energy of love because I'm always exuding another type of energy. And it really comes down to practicing being the energy of love, right? Easier said than done, of course. And of course, maybe this is the lifelong practice, but we can get very good at it very quickly. And so this idea that I don't feel it mostly because the world's energies are very strong, right? So, for example, you walk into a meeting at work and everybody's stressed. What is the energy at work in that meeting? Or at home with your family, if everybody's arguing, right? What is that energy? That energy, the energies around us, the experiences around us are very potent. They're very strong. And because my energy or my stock of love, internal love, I haven't practiced it, it's not as strong. So when it confronts or it comes together with the energies of the world, whether it's stress, the traffic, whatever else, it immediately gets influenced by the energy outside of it.
So the outside world seems to be more powerful than what I'm using from within.
Yeah.
So how do you build up your stock of love in order to at least neutralize what's going on and hopefully even surpass the stressors that are on the outside world?
Yes, exactly. So you have to I think one of the important things is to identify what you're feeling, to learn to sort of read your own energy, not to make things very fluffy or but you have to learn to read your own energy. And I think most people don't. They just go with it, right?
Are you speaking generally as my personality or moment to moment?
Moment to moment. Yeah, so moment to moment. So for example, when you come home and you sit, exactly. When you breathe, can you tell what you're feeling? Can you identify, am I feeling stressed from the day? Am I feeling relieved, right? Am I feeling worried? Or am I feeling happy? So really just being able to see and identify your feelings is reading your energies. Like it's super simple,
Yeah.
you know? Because once you know what you're feeling or what kind of emotion you're experiencing, then you can start the process of changing. You know, a lot of times stress is caused by sadness, right? But we think we're stressed, but what we really are is sad. So it's really about learning to look internally. And it's a simple practice, really.
Let me ask you a question. Like the moment that you can identify an emotion that you're having, like sadness or concern, a little bit maybe worry, Does that already, the fact of observing it, does that lessen it already because you've identified it?
I don't think it lessens it, but it's starting to speed up the process of maybe confronting it
I see. Oh,
and being able to transform it. So without identifying it, you won't be able to. And so I think partly what we need to do is just to identify it, and then you go, oh my gosh, I'm so stressed. Oh my gosh, I'm so stressed. Or oh my gosh, I'm so worried. Right. And then I think it's just a matter of saying, wait a second, I'm not stressed. I'm not worried. I feel stressed. I feel worried, right? But I'm not those things. I'm actually love. I'm actually peace. I'm actually happiness. I just have to tap into those and learn to find those. And I think the process, or just the process of learning to identify the feeling and then disassociating yourself with the fact that it's a feeling that you are, right? No, I'm not stressed. I'm not worried. I'm feeling stressed. I'm feeling worried. And
by
then
whatever event that has triggered these things that I feel them.
yeah.
But are you saying they're temporary conditions?
Yeah, I'm saying that that stressor, right, helped to create that feeling inside of me, like it was a trigger. And so in that sense, it's temporary,
Mhm.
but it doesn't feel temporary.
No,
It feels very alive and real.
it's actually very comforting just to hear it talked about just like that, because
Mm,
I think the tendency, I don't know about everyone else, but the tendency that I would have is to avoid that feeling. I don't want
yes,
to
yeah.
associate with that feeling. I want to get away from it. So now I'm kind of being defensive about anything related to it. So I never get to address it. So when you said the word confront,
Yeah.
that struck me, is that love gives me the power to face.
To face, which in today's world means confront. Absolutely. Love gives me the power to confront in a loving way. Yes.
It doesn't mean
Mhm.
conflict. It just
Exactly.
means to look at it,
face it,
to call
yeah.
it what it is.
Yeah.
And that's could be
Mhm.
disarms that trigger,
Yes.
because you're saying, oh yeah, that's that.
Yeah. It definitely disarms it to the point where at least you're not reinforcing it, and that's very important.
Because then it perpetuates.
That, of
And then
course.
I develop a fear
Mhm.
of anything that might be associated with the fear of that being triggered, that feeling that I have that I
Yeah.
can't tolerate. So you're giving me
Yes.
a like a tool just to observe my
Mhm.
feelings.
Yeah. It's so beautiful when you come to the realization that I am not those negative things. That's not who I am. The me, my essence, my being is peace, is happiness, is loving. And that's why we're always looking for those things, because we are those things. We know
You
those
won't
things.
look for something unless you have it.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly right.
It's
That's
true.
exactly right. I always feel like, if you've never tasted a mango, right? No matter how I describe it to you, oh, Craig, it's so juicy, it tastes so sweet. You'd be like, okay, that sounds nice. You wouldn't crave it.
No,
You wouldn't look
I
for
wouldn't
it.
miss it.
You wouldn't miss it. But we miss love, happiness, peace. We're all going on vacation because we know stress is not
These things
exact. Vacation means I need peace.
does.
Yes, but then we come back from our vacations. We haven't found peace because we're looking for peace externally
Externally.
when we go on a vacation, and that peace is in me.
So
I have
tell
to
me,
find it.
in your wisdom, what is your methodology that
Mhm.
you reinforce your I guess it's like I'm remembering that you're that
Yeah.
in a way.
Yeah.
It's so easy to forget, which seems so strange to forget what you are.
It's
Doesn't that seem
yes.
strange to forget what you are?
Yes.
And then to tune into something that you're not.
Yes.
So what do you do for your personal practice to reinforce this
Mhm.
reality?
I have to be honest, like I do everything I just said. When I'm not feeling good, when I'm feeling off, when I'm feeling tired, when I'm feeling stressed, I I sort of reassure myself that I'm not those things because you very quickly buy into it very quickly. Like it's a story that it's so easy to say, oh, the situation stressed me out. Like it's so easy to fall into that and say that. So I very quickly sort of re reconfigure that narrative, immediately. And I may say to myself, no, I let the situation stress me. I'm not stressed, I'm peace. So very simple,
It
you
is,
know.
and I guess it has to be simple for it to work, because I can't
Yeah.
remember like a 5-step program at the moment that I'm experiencing stress. Then I don't have time to look at my notes.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's a simple first step, let's put it that way, because this is deep, diving in deep work. I wish it was as simple as that, but it's a very simple first step that is very effective and very good. And then what I often do also is that I go back, I remind myself what is my purpose in seeking to feel good. Like I why do I want to not feel stressed? Why do I want to not feel sad? Why do I want to not feel anxious? And always reminding yourself that you sort of have, for lack of a better word, a goal or an intention, let's put it that way. The goal is too
Yeah,
businessy.
yeah, intentions.
Yes, but intention, that you had an intention and that you're just forgetting your intention. The world is distracting you. That situation distracted you from your intention. And then you just have to remember your intention, the seed of your intention. And so all those things, like thinking about those things, feeling those things, remembering those things, that's time well spent in a good space of good energy. And little by little, it'll reverse all of that, little by little. But it definitely is a work in
I
progress.
I buy in.
Okay.
Yeah, I buy in.
Yeah.
It's simple. It has to be simple. Why would it be difficult to be yourself? I guess the hardest
Mm.
part is getting myself to that point where I recognize I could say that, oh, I am love. But people say, well, that sounds hokey,
Yeah,
you know.
exactly. Well, the thing about that is that you're only saying I am love, not to be hokey and not to be like affirmative and
Yeah.
try to be like, be all do these endless affirmations. But the idea of saying I am love is that you are the first that is going to experience that love when you exude it. And so when you remind yourself, no, I'm not stressed, I am love, or I know I'm not anger, I am love, then you're gonna start feeling that shift. You're the first, it's a lot like, okay, I'm angry. I'm gonna be angry at that person because they took advantage or they did something mean. Yes, you got payback by being angry, but guess who's the one that felt the anger the most? You felt that anger because you were exuding it and you are the one that's creating it and
In
you're the
fact,
one
I'm trying to
swimming
get
in it.
them to feel it, what I'm feeling. That's why I'm
Mm.
angry, and give you a piece of my mind.
And
But
maybe
so,
you accomplished
and
what you
so I
wanted
want to give
to.
you the peace in my mind. So
Right, yes,
I just changed
beautiful.
the grammar
Yes,
around.
yes.
I want to give you the peace in my
Yeah.
mind.
Isn't that lovely? Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just, it's much more effective, and I feel much better
Mhm.
because I have this idea that I'm trying to find the cause of my stressor on the outside, and I want there to be some type of compensation for it,
Right.
the
Exactly.
payback.
Yes. But then you realize that the payback at the end, it's
It's
really going to be towards yourself.
absolutely.
And that maybe that situation wasn't worth what you're going to end up feeling. So at some point, and so that's really the reason to tap into that hokiness of saying I am love,
Mhm.
you know, Not because you're trying to buy into it, but because you want to swim in it. You want to swim in that energy that is good for
The
you.
ultimate vacation.
Yeah.
I'm serious. It really,
Yeah.
as funny as it is true.
Yeah.
And that's why, like movies that are very hokey, the formula works because
Right.
everyone wants this idea of happily ever after.
Mm.
And in a way, that's what you're saying is that
Mm.
it brings a means for which I can lessen my experience of these outside things and have more of experience of swimming in this peace and
Yeah.
swimming in this love that you're saying.
Yeah.
That is my essence of
Yeah.
who I am.
Yeah.
Not that it's inside of me, but I am that. And it's almost revolutionary.
Yeah. It
And
really is in today's world. It's a great word.
it seems
It's
very
revolutionary.
ironic
Yes.
that the truth is
Yeah.
revolutionary.
Yeah, it
Okay.
still is.
So let's take a moment. We usually close with like a little meditation. And why don't
Okay.
you use like a 3-minute commentary,
Okay.
or just give us some clues of what you're experiencing, like thinking out loud, so we can kind of understand what it is to feel like,
Okay.
right?
Yeah, sure. So I think the feeling that is important is that we imagine ourselves as a stream of love. It's a wave of energy that begins inside of me. And I create that energy. And I imagine myself creating that energy. Starting out, imagining a tiny point of light in the middle of the forehead. Just a tiny point of concentrated energy. And I just want to feel that spot. It's clean. It's pure. It's unconditional. All it wants to do is brighten up a situation, a room, a surrounding. And so just imagine that little spot starting to illuminate brighter and brighter. And that energy starts to move down the neck. And just imagine a wave of energy moving down the neck and into the shoulders, washing out everything, clearing out everything. That's what love is. It's an energy that helps to clean and open, and it purifies and transforms. And I can imagine this energy moving out and extending itself around the room I'm sitting in, filling the room with this energy of light and love. And it cleanses and it cleans and it purifies. And I can imagine sending this energy to any situation that is hard for me. Any situation that is difficult. I imagine filling that situation with this energy I create. A wave of love that cleanses and purifies. how they need to transform. The energies around them into something for the greater good. Thank you
Thank you.
for having me in your living room.
Thank you. It's a little living room chat. But look how different it is than a normal living room chat. See, we could make our life whatever we want it to be by the content that we have. And I think a lot of it has to do with the uncomfortableness that people have with reality, of facing, where this conversation was much more fulfilling and encouraging than talking about current events.
It's true.
That actually takes energy to do.
Yeah.
So there's so much to what you said. There's so much to it, is the energy
Yes.
that to value that energy so much. So thank you so much. Thank you, everyone, and see you next time. Bye.
Thanks, Craig.